Dead or Alive 6 is a very popular franchise. It was very popular for a singular reason. It was popular for the gameplay, of course. What, you thought there was another reason why? Why would there be? The gameplay is strong, and for me it's very easy to fit in and enjoy the game once you understand its system. Dead or Alive 6 uses a familiar system which the game has been using since the original. This is known as the triangular system. The triangular system consists of 3 core elements which will ensure victory for the player. The 3 core mechanisms are punch, throw and hold. In the game, holds are defined as 3-way or 4-way holds. 4-way holds is the default system that the game chooses for you, however this can be changed through the options menu. The 3-way and 4-way hold dynamic works well. Each way grants the opportunity to the player to counter high, mid and low attacks. Whilst this is a very familiar system conveyed from previous editions, Team Ninja has also incorporated a new system. In the previous game, when your health depleted to a certain point, your health bar would turn red. This indicated that you have the ability to perform a special move. Choosing when to use it was key, as you only had it once per round. In Dead or Alive 6, they use a fatal system. This system consists of multiple moves which can be fatal to your opponent. You see what I did there? Firstly, we have the Fatal Stun. Fatal Stun temporarily puts the opponent in a state where they are unable to move, giving the player a chance to pull off combos whilst the opponent is staggered. We also have Fatal Rush, which is a 4-hit combo performed from Fatal Stun. This is very easy to pull off as it can be done with a single button, and definitely an appealing method for newcomers of the franchise. Coming into Dead or Alive 6, I was a bit skeptical with this method. As you know, people can take advantage of this by performing it consistently during a match, and this can therefore dullen the experience. But I was surprised. Basic moves and fatal combos builds a new bar in Dead or Alive 6 called a break gauge. Over time, attacks taken and given builds this meter. If the meter is at 50%, it can be used to deflect a fatal stun or the development of a fatal rush. This is known as a break hold. Deflecting an attack can be very useful in taking down your opponent. And as you know, reaching 100% grants you the opportunity of performing a special move in something they call a break blow. Even with the new system, the game still keeps its balance, and this just makes battles more competitive. Dead or Alive 6 also includes a new visual system where attacks up close displays damage on your opponent's face, blood, gore and nothing else. The new additions in Dead or Alive 6 works well. It's not a dramatic difference from Dead or Alive 5, however, the new system is very useful when opening up new methods of play. But there is one more part I want to cover, which is part of the gameplay aspect. With my experience with Dead or Alive 6, Dead or Alive 6 gives the player the option to either prioritize the action or the graphics of the game. Prioritizing the action of the game keeps the matches balanced. Although there were a few frame rate drops during my experience, this was still a way better method than the graphics option. The graphics option should not be regarded, nor should it have been included into the game. The changes are minimal at best, and most of the time you can't really tell the flipping difference unless you put a fucking telescope in front of your screen. Oh, I see that texture difference! And not only that, because it is trying to focus on the graphical elements of the gameplay feels very inconsistent. Matches are more slower than usual, and you get the point. Stick to the default settings and you should get a better experience out of the game. As I have mentioned in my Dead or Alive 6 deluxe demo breakdown, I thought that the training aspect of Dead or Alive 6 is very I was going for good. Okay! Dead or Alive 6 contains a very excessive training system, from free training to tutorial to command training and to combo training. There is a lot to learn from this game. Its core systems, the new fatal system, learning about the break gauge understanding tracking, and even delays are some of the core fundamentals which Dead or Alive 6 is built on. There is so much to learn from Dead or Alive 6, and this can surely take more than several hours in order to understand everything. Dead or Alive 6 also enables challenge requests so that you can keep fighting and harnessing your skills in training so that you are prepared for the next online match. I'm glad to see the return of this in Dead or Alive 6. Surely the strongest and the most unique addition to Dead or Alive 6, with more than 100 quests. I'm just saying that to make you think there's like 300 to 400 quests, however there's only 104. Okay, back to the review. DOA Quest is a set of missions which are carried out. Each mission consists of 3 stars. Each star is gained by fulfilling a different objective during a match. DOA Quest is very consistent by delivering something different from one mission to another. Each mission gets more tougher and more complex as you progress further. DOA Quest follows the story in chronological order. Completing an event unlocks an encyclopedia based on the event that took place. This adds to the consistency of this mode. In contrast to this, I do feel that the only drawback of this mode is Nico. As this mode is all about recalibrating the systems which have malfunctioned, completing each mission stabilizes the systems. She gives feedback about each event that took place. Her analysis upon the situations are vague, providing minimal detail about a certain encounter. DOA Quest could have been done without her presence, and the mode would still be fine. DOA Central consists of wardrobe, database, theater, music, and library. Wardrobe is the customization system for Dead or Alive 6. Each character can be customized with a different costume, and other elements of the characters can be changed as well. This is referred to as the accessory system. The accessory system gives you access to 2 features: the type of hair that you want and the type of glasses you want to wear. This system needs to be improved and fast. Not only is it very limited, but it's also very unnecessary. Whatever you do in the game does not contribute to the system, so everything that you try to add for each character will always appear the same. The game's wardrobe feature also gives you access to the costumes in the game. As there is 8 slots for each character, you can customize them however you want. But with what? The accessory system is useless. But that's not the only problem. Each character has a variety of costumes that can be unlocked through various modes. Technically, the boys have 2 costumes and the girls have 5 to 6 costumes. The other costumes included into the game is just a different color of the same costume that you already have, and it doesn't make the game more fun that I'm trying to unlock the same costume but just in a different flipping color. Costumes have been a fundamental bit of the Dead or Alive franchise, and I know the game was taking a different direction. However, at least there was variety in all of the previous editions, excluding the sexual aspect of course. But how do you gain the costumes? Well, now that's a very different and very new aspect of Dead or Alive 6. In previous games, costumes would unlock through various modes in the game. Once you unlock the costume, you can use it in battle, and it was a great personalization feature. In Dead or Alive 6, the game uses a costume grinding feature. Every time you complete a course, complete a DOA quest, or even complete an online match, all of this work contributes to the masterwork of a specific costume. Masterworks can go up from 100 with the boy characters and up to 1000 if you're trying to unlock the girls' costumes. With more than 30 hours put into the game, I have only managed to gain about 12. And it doesn't help that each mode gives you only about 20 to 30 masterwork pieces. DOA Quest is the best mode to collect most of the costumes. Completing an event there at least gives you 500 masterwork pieces. So you should be done in no time. Plus, I did not understand why that if I'm playing as, let's say, Christy, why the flip am I unlocking masterwork pieces for characters like Jan Lee or Raidu? I know that the company has addressed this, and later in the future they will change the system to unlocking pieces of masterwork for the character you play as. That's great and all, but when? Adding to the masterwork pieces as a method of unlocking costumes was really tedious. The masterwork system really bored me, and about, I would say, like 4 to 5 hours into the game, I didn't really care about the costumes. I just left it and tried to find what else the game could offer. And did you hear about the Season Pass? What the flip was that? The Season Pass contains 62 costumes and 2 DLC characters, but for $90! Wait. Okay, let me just convert it in British pounds. This is £70. Really, it's not worth it. The database is a record of all of your stats throughout your experience with Dead or Alive 6. Theater gives you access to 2 modes, Fight Viewer as well as Spectator, you know what they're for. There was a lot of music to choose from, and it was great to see the variety from all of the musics from the originals and even the ones that Dead or Alive 6 has incorporated. It was nice to see a balance. Each music can be changed for specific characters or specific modes. So yeah, it's great to check out the musics, make sure that you do. But the key feature about the whole DOA Central is definitely its library system. The library includes Encyclopedia, which educates you about all of the events that took place throughout Dead or Alive. Especially if you are new to the series, this is a great addition to the game. As the story is straightforward, it would be very easy to understand amongst all audiences. Library also includes Trivia, which can be unlocked through the story mode. In Trivia, events and pieces of commentary between 2 or 3 characters take place, often talking about certain topics which have not been spoken about during the game. DOA Central is a great mode to understand and broaden your knowledge of the Dead or Alive franchise. Despite a few drawbacks which mostly came from the wardrobe feature, this mode should be definitely accessed by all. The online mode is okay. The game works very differently to other fighters. In Dead or Alive 6, you have the option to choose your main character. So this is the main fighter that you'll be playing as, whether you're in training or whether you're in an online match. You will always be playing as this character. I felt like this developed a consistency throughout this mode, and you could get matches very regularly instead of going to a character select menu. I thought this was just an easier push, and it was a very different approach, especially for Dead or Alive 6. It was a great feature to use, and I really enjoyed what they did. And if you wanted to change your main character, you would go back to the menu and highlight a different character that you want to oppose as your main. However, this can get very boring very quickly. I mean, despite a few errors, waiting times, and a few server crashes, which I'm thinking is particularly normal, the online worked fine. However, there is a huge but. The online features are very limited, as it only consists of ranked matches, and over time, with a lack of variety, this will push more players away in the long term. I was shocked to see that ranked matches was the only feature for online, despite the deluxe demo displaying a hint at the lobby matches, which I thought was going to be included within the game. And we have finally made it, saving worst to last. The story is stupid, plain and simple. It does not do anything to amaze you. Dead or Alive 5 at least had something solid going on in the story. I understand that Team Ninja wanted to make the story simpler for us to understand. I did not anticipate for the story to be this simple! Most of the story elements are already shown in the trailer, only leaving the final 2 chapters to show something that gave the story a little push. But even then, it was like, yep, that happened. Raidu, who's he? The main stupid story is exactly 45 minutes. Even Teletubbies could have come up with a better story. No, even better. Even a newborn baby could have written a better story than this, and they can't even write! Including all of the characters' story parts, the story fits into about an hour and a half. Each character has about 1, 2, or if you're lucky, 3 events which you can complete. There are elements of the story which I do believe stand out, like the final chapter of the main story, or even carrying out the tournament, playing as Janley, and then experiencing a change of events. Although these features are good, it feels wasted on a story that can only be clarified as stupid, and it does not help how simple the story is. But don't worry, I'll just wait another 8 years to find out something that could have been answered in this game. It should have been called Dead or Alive 2-minute cutscene, because that's how long the cutscenes are. Before I end the review, Nayo Tengu and Phase 4 are DLC characters for Dead or Alive 6, although they should not have been. It does not help that I can't play as these characters in arcade mode or in online mode, but I do have access to the characters in story mode, DOA quest, and even though the game tells you that you do not have the license to these characters, you still have the ability to customize them. They could have just included them into the game and the game would have still worked. Yeah, I'm just gonna customize a character with a costume that I'm never gonna see! Nico and Diego are two new additions to the Dead or Alive roster. Both characters add their own stamps to the franchise and are very fun to play. Dead or Alive 6 utilizes a strong formula which is both familiar and refreshing to the franchise. DOA Quest is the standout mode for Dead or Alive 6, delivering challenging tasks mission after mission. Despite these strengths, there are so many problems with the game which prevents Dead or Alive 6 from reaching its full potential. The story is dull, costumes take too long to unlock, online is very limited, and many more. Dead or Alive 6 is a strong game, but not a game to go out and buy straight away. It's better to wait until Team Ninja brings out a free version where they will give you access to everything except for the story mode. In my opinion, that's the best offer that you're gonna get. It's a shame what Dead or Alive 6 turned out to be. The game is not the best of the franchise, nor is it the worst. It's just there. The fun rating for me is an 8 out of 10. Critical hits at a 6. That gives me an overall of a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and if you have done, why don't you go ahead and leave that like, subscribe to BMQG if you haven't done so. Make sure that you hit the bell icon to receive the latest from BMQG. Why don't you write a comment below? Did you agree with the review? What would you rate it? Critical, fun, and then overall? Why don't you tell me in the comments below? Make sure to follow me at BMQG. That's a small G and a caps, not that many G's, just small G and a caps. JJ! And on Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, and I'll see you guys on the next review, playthrough, whatever I'm doing on this channel. I want to be just as surprised as you are. Let's do this!